620 The Buzz joining us on the Alan Kelly and Company Train Hotline. Folks, if we had maybe 6 hours of the 36 hours that James Hahn has had on the golf course lately, we're having a pretty good week. But the man goes and wins the Rex Hospital Open at TPC Wakefield, and then all he does is gets on a plane and qualifies for the U.S. Open. James, I think the only word that comes to mind is congratulations, and then the question is, how'd you do this?
Oh, man, right now I'm just going off pure adrenaline and, just not knowing what's good for my body and just trying to get the ball in the hole in a few amount of strokes. And, it's just been crazy. It's a crazy schedule, but it's good to be busy this time of year.
Well, walk us through TPC Wakefield and winning the Rex Hospital Open. You win it in a playoff. What does that do for you? And just tell us the round of golf that you had on Sunday to put yourself in position to win.
Okay. Well, to be perfectly honest, had no expectations of winning the event. I actually had a 5:55 p.m. flight that I was trying to make, and the only thing that I could think of the entire round was, am I going to have enough time to get to the airport, drop off my rental car, and make my flight? And that was the only thing I was thinking about when I had finished. Signed some autographs, went straight to my car, put on my tennis shoes, and the guy says, hey, where are you going? I said, well, I need to get to the airport. And I had no idea that I kind of knew that I was leading the tournament or co-leader at the time, but I really just wanted to make my flight, and I was hoping that Scott Perrell had made his birdie putt, so that way I would have saved $500 and made it to the airport in time. But it's good to be in the playoff. It was a great experience, and ended up winning the event, so was able to afford the $500 and change fee the later flight.
I was going to say, did you walk into the airport with that big check and ask them to make up the difference on that?
No, they actually tried to charge me for extra baggage fee. I made it just in time. It was 7:15. And I made it there at 7:15 for a 7:45 flight, and I'm a grown man. I don't beg, but I was begging them to have my bags arrive in San Francisco on time. All I needed were my golf clubs, and thank God that they showed up for my 7 o'clock tee time the next morning. Got to the home at 1 o'clock, couldn't get to sleep till about 2, just thinking what a crazy day I had. And then my brother calls me at 5 saying, hey, let's go. We got a qualifier to win.
Now, is it safe to say that you had a little extra confidence in you winning your first ever nationwide tour event heading into the qualifier, or was that yesterday's news and you just had to bear down and try and qualify for the Open?
Kind of both. The biggest thing for me was, I have money in my pocket, and there's always next year if I don't qualify. But the biggest thing for me at the time was trying to stay awake. Showed up to the golf course, 3 hours of sleep, didn't know if I was going to shank my first tee shot, was a little nervous, had my brother on the bag, and ended up, hitting 2 great shots on the first hole, made birdie, and just said, all right, let's keep it going. Ended up a bogey-free round in my first 18 holes at Lake Merced, and they've been allowing me to come out here and practice full-time for the year. So I really do got to thank Lake Merced Golf Club for letting me do that, and ended up being the difference in making the U.S. Open and not making it.
So you're telling us that having somewhat membership has its privileges at a golf club?
Absolutely. The other guy that I was playing with is from Arizona, and it was raining. It was about 60 degrees. He had no idea what club to hit on certain holes. I mean, he's used to 7-irons going 190 yards, and I'm like, you'll be lucky to get 3-wood 190 yards in this weather. So, but definitely made a lot of putts. Greens are really hard to read out here. Some of the best greens in all of California, really. They're really fast, rolling about 12 on the stip meter and really firm, and was able to knock in a few putts, and that was really the difference between me making it and not.
So you go ahead and shoot 66 on about, 37 minutes of sleep, you've told us, to get to that point. Do you have it in your head now? You got to go out and play another round of golf that afternoon. Do you have it in your head where you're like, this is a number I need to get to, this is the number that I have, or that doesn't even come into play because you're almost on the point of exhaustion on Monday?
Right. The number that I have right now is 3 hours of sleep. I think that's the golden ticket. I'm very superstitious, so if I can just go off of 3 hours of sleep for the next 2 weeks, I'll be good. And I'm just glad to be out and playing golf. I'm healthy finally. I have everything working for me. The driver's finally working. Putts are starting to fall, so the momentum's good. and I just don't want to peak too early. I know the U.S. Open's next week, so trying to tone down a bit, but I just can't go to sleep. I'm smiling in my sleep.
We're speaking with James Hahn. In the span of 30 hours, all he did is win his first nationwide tour event and then qualify for the U.S. Open. So before I ask about how geeked up you are to play at Olympic and what that means for a guy who grew up on the West Coast, I want to bring you back and be selfish about playing here in Raleigh. What is it about the nationwide tournament here, the Rex Hospital Open, that the guys on the tour seem to love, and that the course, it lends itself to being able to put up a low number, but at the same time, you still have to put a good game out there in order to win that tournament?
The golf course at TPC Wakefield is one of the best golf courses we play. The greens are extremely firm, fast, a lot of undulation. You really have to strike the ball well off the tee. I mean, it challenges every aspect of the game. If you're hitting it well, you can take advantage of the golf course. If you're not hitting it well, par is a good score. And fortunately, I was, got a lot of lucky breaks, but hit the ball really well off the tee and made a lot of putts. It's a great golf course. It tests every aspect of your game: the short game, the long game. Par threes are some of the toughest par threes we play all year, and not very long either. So it shows you how good the golf course is. The people there are amazing. They had galleries all throughout all 4 days. The volunteers, I mean, everything that they did for us at the Rex Hospital Open, they went above and beyond. And it's one of the premier tournaments on the schedule, and just definitely glad to be a part of it. The general manager, the tournament director did a great job in setting up the golf course to pristine condition. And also had a little course knowledge. I had a local guy, a local kid actually, 24 years old, caddy for me. So that definitely helped out a lot. Even though he misread the last putt on the last hole to seal the deal, but he did a good job. Matt Lawson, if he's listening, I want to thank you very much for doing that.
Well, I think that Matt's okay. Once again, I think you might have given him some gas money for the ride home. So that works out. James Hahn is joining us here. Now, on the other side, you qualify for the U.S. Open. And, James, I'll be honest with you. I know every golfer wants to get to Augusta or they have their favorite tournament, but the Open is mine, and you went out and qualified for it. I got to think, one, that's special. But to go to Cal Berkeley, to be a kid who grows up in California, what does it mean that you get to play at Olympic in San Francisco for your first U.S. Open?
Incredible. I mean, right now, someone asked me yesterday how I feel, and I summed it all up in 2 words: overnight rock star. And I just feel like, being from the area, playing at Olympic Club, I grew up on that golf course. I played it 10, 20, 30 times. It just feels good. I have a lot of friends and family that are coming out, and they're asking me for tickets. If it was any other location, it probably wouldn't be possible. But to come out in my hometown and sleep in my own bed for the U.S. Open, it's the first it's the biggest tournament I will ever play in right now. It's a major golf tournament, and I put it up there next to the Masters, obviously the British and the Players. But it's a major event. I'm trying not to get too anxious about it, but the billboards are starting to come up. People are starting to talk about it, and I just can't stop smiling. It's been an incredible feeling.
Have you ever had a run like this? I mean, even in college, just what you put together 2-3 days of golf this good?
Actually, when I was about 9, I think I won 5 golf tournaments in a row. But that's But back when I was 9, I think 39, a score of 39 for 9 holes was winning back then. But other than that, I really can't remember the last time I've been playing this well. But just don't want to peak too early. Knock on wood. Hopefully it gets better over the next couple weeks.
Wait a minute. You were putting up a score of 39 for 9 holes when you were 9 years old?
Yeah. Wasn't everybody putting up 39?
James, you just went to a guy we're all cheering for, to like guys driving off the road spitting, going, I can't believe that.
Yeah, well, I started golf when I was 4, so by the time I was 9, I was in it for 5 years, and golf courses weren't long back then, and it was a wicked putter. It was probably a better putter back when I was 9 than I am now, but I just started early. My brother played with me. He was also a really good golfer, so there was a lot of competition back when I was 4, 5, 6 years old.
Well, James, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Again, if the superstition is sleeping 3 hours, keep sleeping with that smile. You made so many fans here in the Raleigh area when we found out what you went and did the next day. You got a whole bunch of people pulling for you to continue this at the U.S. Open. we are so happy for you. Congratulations for that, and we know that you're going to make the cut at the U.S. Open. It's your home course. You played it a ton of times. You got to make the cut at the thing.
Absolutely. There's a lot of pressure, but then again, no one really knows who I am. So I just kind of want to squeak under the radar, which would be perfect. Making the cut would be awesome, but to finish top 5 and even win the event, I've been watching a lot of Tin Cup lately, and he just had one bad hole, so hopefully I can finish it out better than he did.
All right. Well, hopefully you're not taking a 12 with a chance to win the U.S. Open, but we hope you're in position for that. And just remember, a couple of years ago, who was Rory McIlroy? Just a kid who needed a haircut from Ireland, and now we all know who he is. So we're finding out who James Hahn is. You win the U.S. Open, we're all going to know who you are.
Absolutely. Have a lot of fans on the nationwide tour, and hopefully a good solid finish to the U.S. Open would bring a lot more. My circle of friends would definitely grow.
James, hit him straight, but the way you're playing, I don't even think you have to worry about that. Thanks so much. Congratulations on your first nationwide tour event, and we can hear the smile through the radio right now and through the phone with what you're doing. Just keep it up. Great story, and thanks so much for the time.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show.